Good evening, Iroquois families. This is Principal Christian Zwallen of Iroquois Middle School, welcoming you to our fourth grade virtual orientation event. We're very excited about welcoming our new fourth graders to Iroquois School in the fall. And we know that this is a big transition, not just for your children, but also for you, our families. And the goal of our meeting tonight is just to help make that transition a little easier by sharing some of what you can expect here at Iroquois School. So we'll have a presentation about the structure of the program, the curriculum, some special events, as well as our counseling program. The fourth grade program here at Iroquois is very similar to third grade in that the classes here at fourth grade are also self-contained, which is to say children stay with the same teacher throughout the day for all their subject areas. Students will travel to various special area subjects such as art, music, library, phys ed, but for the most part they stay in one cohort in the fourth grade wing of the building and in their fourth grade classroom. The lunch program here is operated with a full cafeteria and a snack bar. Students can choose to buy a full meal here, or of course bring a bag lunch from home and supplement that with milk, fruit, yogurt, or other snacks from the snack bar. And we do anticipate having a return to our full lunch and cafeteria program in the fall. We were not able to do that this year because of the virus, but again, we expect to have a traditional cafeteria and lunch program in the fall. One last thing I want to say before I hand things over to Ms. Avalone, who's our fourth grade team leader. One thing I want to just add is being in a larger building does not mean necessarily any less connection with the classroom teacher than the one you may have had in the primary buildings. As I mentioned earlier, we have a separate fourth grade wing. Our teachers walk students to lunch and to their special area subjects, and our team of teachers really work hard to help ease your students into the new fourth grade routine and take extra care to ensure that your children are comfortable here. One last thing too, your children will have an opportunity to visit Iroquois, take a tour of the building, meet some of the teachers, spend some time in a fourth grade classroom, and we'll plan to do that right before school opens at the end of August and early September. So look for more communication about that over the summer. So again, want to welcome you. We're very excited to have you join the Iroquois family. And with that, I will hand the presentation over to Ms. Avalone.
Thank you, Mr. Zwallen. Like Mr. Zwallen said, my name is Nadine Avalone, and I'm a fourth grade teacher at Iroquois Middle School, as well as the fourth grade team leader. I'm going to be talking with you about the transition process from third to fourth grade, curriculum that students will be engaged in fourth grade, and extracurricular activities that they can be involved in. So to start with the transitions, we will be doing third grade visits with myself and the counselor at Iroquois Middle School. We will go into third grade classrooms and talk with students about the similarities and differences of third to fourth grade, as well as answer any questions that they have. Like Mr. Zwallen mentioned, we do have a meet and greet that normally takes place at the end of August, beginning of September. At this time, students will be able to come into the classroom, find their desks, find their lockers, and become familiar with their classrooms. Additionally, fourth grade teachers do a lot of icebreaker and getting to know you activities in the beginning of the year. We know that we have students coming from 3 different buildings and they might not be familiar with everybody in their class. The first few days of school, we do school tours with the classes. Teachers will tour the building with their class and show them where the main office is and the health office and the library and other important locations at the school. And lastly, like Mr. Zwallen said, there are guided transitions. We do walk the students to all of their specials. We pick them up from their specials. We walk them to and from lunch and recess. So they will have somebody with them in the hallway during those transitions. Our English Language Arts program in 4th grade consists of the following components: reading workshop, writing workshop, language skills and word study, and RTI. We're going to start with the English Language Arts curriculum reading workshop. So in reading workshop in 4th grade, we focus on strategies such as context clues to discover the meaning of unfamiliar vocabulary words, literal comprehension of text, both fiction and nonfiction, higher level and critical thinking of text, so being able to interpret things that the author might not say directly to the reader, engaging in close reading strategies, and then engaging in interrogating the text strategies, which leads to that higher level and critical thinking of the text. Continuing with reading workshop, students will be engaged in independent reading, where they focus on active independent reading, guided reading groups, read alouds, literature discussion groups to talk about their reading, and lastly, RTI groups. These are differentiated groups that will focus on specific skill areas to target their instruction. For the writing curriculum, students will be engaged in the writing process when they start a new writing piece, which is immerse, draft, teach, revise, edit, conference, and publish. This process should be familiar to them from 3rd grade. During Writer's Workshop, students will be engaged in mini lessons and modeling with authentic text, independent writing time, conferences, which allow for individualized instruction, and the author's chair, which they will have the opportunity to share their writing. Math Expressions is the program used in 4th grade, which is the same program that students are engaged in 3rd grade. Math Expressions is an engaging mathematical curriculum that builds and supports students' conceptual and procedural understanding of mathematics. It uses objects, drawings, conceptual language, and real-world situations to help students build mathematical ideas that make sense to them and that can be applied to authentic settings. The 4th grade science curriculum is aligned to the next generation science standards. These are newer standards, so on the next slide, I will go over the components of the next generation science standards. The main units of study in 4th grade in science are an introduction to science, energy conversions, Earth's features, waves, energy and information, and vision and light. The next generation science standards are written as performance expectations of disciplinary core ideas, so that's our content, that identify science and engineering practices. So for example, some of those science and engineering practices include asking questions and defining problems, developing and using models, analyzing and interpreting data, planning and carrying out investigations, using mathematical and computational thinking, constructing explanations and designing solutions, engaging in argument from evidence, and obtaining, evaluating, and communicating information. And it identifies a related cross-cutting concepts. So some cross-cutting concepts include patterns, cause and effect, scale, proportion, quantity, systems and models, energy and matter, structure and function, instability and change. And the program that we use in 4th grade is called Amplify. And every lesson in Amplify has disciplinary core ideas, science and engineering practices, and cross-cutting concepts. The social studies curriculum is aligned as well with the West Iroquois Central School District Enduring Understandings. The major units of study include geography, Native Americans, the Revolutionary War, the United States government, explorers, and colonial America. Many of our field trips that I'll go over with you reinforce these units of study throughout the school year. The specials that students engage in 4th grade are similar to those that they engage in 3rd grade. So they have music, physical education, art, and library. And in the beginning of the school year, your child's fourth grade teacher will send home a schedule. That way you know when students need to wear sneakers for PE or what days we'll be having music, art, and what days to bring back library books. As far as homework goes in fourth grade, all homework should not take more than 45 minutes to 60 minutes to complete. Typically, students have math homework every night. It will be assigned to reinforce concepts and skills that were learned in school that day. And typically, students will have reading. Some nights, students will have choice reading time, but other nights it will be assigned by their RTI teacher and might go along with their novel study. Again, this may vary, but typically students do have math homework every night and reading homework. Sometimes they will be given word study homework. Students are given a feature and a list of words on a given letter day and are expected to practice their feature at home throughout the week. Science and social studies will vary based on the unit and the work completion in class. Again, homework should not take longer than 45 to 60 minutes to complete. And if you're having any trouble with homework at home, please don't hesitate to reach out to your child's teacher and they will work with you on that. The typical field trips for fourth grade are as follows. Students will go to the Helmer Nature Center, the Rochester Museum and Science Center, on a downtown walking tour, and on the Erie Canal boat tour and the Stone Tolan Museum. Again, a lot of these field trips reinforce our social studies units. Next, I want to talk a little bit about the role of the school counselor. The school counselor helps to support students with any emotional or social needs during the transition. Visits are scheduled to visit all third grade classrooms and coordinates with the third grade teachers and counselors to ensure a smooth transition. Extracurricular activities are a great way to help your student feel involved, included, and part of the Iroquois family. Some of these extracurricular activities include Authors Club, Service Club, Band, Orchestra, Newspaper Club, Intramurals, Chess Club, and Odyssey of the Mind. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email or call the Iroquois Middle School Principal, Christian Zwalin. On behalf of Mr. Zwalin and myself, we want to thank you so much for your time. We want to thank you in advance for sharing your children with us, and we look forward to meeting you and them in September of 2021. Thank you again and have a great night.